What's going on, everybody? Josh Pocock here, and on this channel we've covered many different AI agent tools, frameworks, you name it, we've covered it. And most of you have probably heard of one of the top leading multi-agent platforms, CrewAI. Now, CrewAI is a framework for orchestrating role-playing autonomous AI agents. It empowers agents to work together seamlessly, tackling complex tasks. Now, they do have an enterprise version, and they also have a fully open source version, where you can easily get started with CrewAI by creating your crew, defining tasks, and then kicking off. And you can do all this pretty quickly just by writing some simple Python code. Now, we've had videos with CrewAI, AutoGen, multiple different AI agent frameworks, and some of you say, Josh, I love this information, but hey, I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer, it's hard for me to write Python. Where do I get started? What's the best strategy? Well, that's why in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at an open source tool called CrewAI Studio. This is essentially a user-friendly multi-agent GUI, graphical user interface, for managing and running CrewAI agents and tasks. Within this GUI, you'll be able to create agents, tasks, crews, tools, and you'll be able to even kick off, run those agents with pretty much any LLM out there. And guess what? Once you build it in the GUI, if you want to export it later on and put it into the raw Python code and build something more complex out, you can do that too. I'm going to show you how you can self-host this easily in the next 5 minutes. Let's dive right into it. Alright guys, so of course, just like any video, all links will be in the description down below. And this tool, like I said, is CrewAI Studio. Now, CrewAI also has their own studio within the enterprise version, which is the paid plan, the non-open source version, but this one specifically is a GitHub repo that you can self-host right now. So the way it works is initially it's going to use either Conda or a virtual environment, and that's all included with a bash script right here that you simply just run, and it's going to set all that up for you. So the installation process is pretty easy, pretty seamless. So the features are multi-platform support. So this works on Windows, Linux, Mac OS, literally no coding required. So, you know, like I said, I get so many people that want to use CrewAI, want to use AutoGen, or at least just want to test these out, you know, get a feel for how they work, but they don't have any coding experience. And yes, you can learn to code, or yes, you can use Cursor, which I would suggest to work up to, but even still, it's nice to use a GUI sometimes. So CrewAI tools, you'll be able to create CrewAI tools, interact with the real world. We'll get into that in just a second. New custom tools. So custom tools for calling APIs and writing files, and more will be added soon. And then API support. So OpenAI, Grok, Anthropic, LM Studio backends are supported. OpenAI key is probably still needed for embeddings in many tools. Don't forget to load embedding model when using LM Studio. And then single page app export. So this feature allows you to export a crew as a simple page Streamlit app. And then threaded crew runs. So crews can run in the background and can be stopped. And here's some screenshots of the GUI that we're about to set up right now. So the installation process, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. There's a couple different ways you can actually do it. So the first is a virtual environment. If you're going to use a virtual environment, you'll do it this way. The second way is using Conda. So they're pretty much the same. You know, if you know the difference between a virtual environment and Conda, pretty similar. But if you don't, you can just check that out. But either one works. You really can use either one. It's not going to make a difference, really. If you're on Linux or Mac, you're going to follow this right here. So you're going to clone the repo. The starting process is the same for all of these. You just git cloning and then CDing into CrewAI Studio. From that point on, if you're on Conda using Linux, you're going to run this script right here. You're going to run the install bash script right here to install Conda. And then after that, you're going to run the run conda.sh or the run conda.bat right here to actually set it up. So if you're on Windows, just follow this. If you're on Mac or Linux, you follow this. And same thing for using the virtual environment, Mac and Linux, you just follow this. It's the same thing, except it's just a virtual environment script and a virtual environment run script right here. And then if you're on Windows, you just run this as well. So just to show you, I already did this. We git cloned the repo right here. We changed directories right here into CrewAI Studio. And then I started running the virtual environment install script right here. As you can see, it started installing. Now, one thing actually before you run this run script, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run code space dot, or basically you're just going to want to open it up in VS Code or Cursor. Reason being is because we're going to need to enter in our environment variables. Okay. Once you open up this project, it's going to look something like this. I'm not going to go through it, but you guys could check it out, the inner workings, if you do want. At the database right here. The main thing we're going to want to do is these environment variables. So you'll see there is an example one right here. There's also the real one right here. So you're going to go into the .env file and you're essentially just going to put in your keys right here. So you can put in your OpenAI key, API key. You don't need to do this one. You can use Grok API key right here if you want. LM Studio's already here. Anthropic API key. Agent Ops API key. If you're not familiar with Agent Ops, you could use that if you want. And then Olama's here as well. And then Olama models right here. So then if Agent Ops is enabled, you would just put this to true. And then of course, the ones that you're using, you're going to want to uncomment these. So remove the hashtags right here. And you're going to want to do this, like I said, in the .env file. Okay. So once you do that, you should be good to go. And then you can actually go ahead, save that, and then run the script right here. All right, once you do that, you're going to see that the actual Streamlit environment is set up on localhost port 8501. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, guys, so this is the simple graphical user interface. It really has all you really need. You know, obviously there can be improvements and whatnot, but it has some of the main core features within CrewAI, especially if you're just getting started out and really want to just understand how this framework works. Even if you're not just starting out and you sometimes like to build stuff in GUIs and use a graphical user interface and then maybe export it, this could be good for you as well. So first off, we of course have our crews right here. So let's go ahead and test. You can see I've created one crew right here. And I'm not going to explain every little thing in terms of how the CrewAI framework works. Mainly I'm going to be covering this GUI right here. You'll see me kind of build some test ones and we can test it out. But of course, you know, you're going to have to build something specific to your use case and whatnot. Anyway, so name right here. So this is just what you name it. This doesn't affect everything. So like, let's just say we named it crew 2. Process. So process sequential or process hierarchical. All right, so if it's sequential, then the task will be performed in a linear manner, like one after the other. And if it's hierarchical, then it will basically be where like a manager oversees tasks and can delegate it to specific agents and whatnot. That's just a brief overview. As you can see, if we're on sequential here, then we won't be able to select a manager LLM or a manager agent right here. But if we're on hierarchical, we can select those right here. So we could select our manager agent or our manager LLM. So let's say, for example, we select our senior, actually we would select the manager for our manager agent, and I'll show you how we created this agent in just a second. And then for our LLM, we can see here, we got different OpenAI LLMs. We got Grok right here. We got LM Studio. We got Anthropic. These are the main ones. Of course, you can use Olama as well. So I'm just going to use GPT-4o for, you know, simplicity. And then we can go ahead and select our agents. So we could go ahead and use the senior researcher agent for one. If we wanted to add multiple agents as well, we could do so. And like I said, I'm going to show you how to create that in just a second, different agents. And then tasks. So I just created a dummy task right here. Identify the next big trend in AI. Focus on identifying pros and cons and the overall narrative. Of course, you could have multiple different tasks, and we'll probably add some more into this example in just a second. And yeah, so we got our manager here. You can either select and toggle on verbose, memory, cache, and planning. All right, so this is going to allow more detailed logs. We can, of course, add short-term, long-term, you know, medium-term memory right here. And then planning, this is going to allow them to plan a bit more before they actually start doing their tasks. All right, you could change this max request / min request right here. You know, if you want to have more or less, we'll just keep it like this for, you know, the sake of this example here. Let me just make sure everything's entered in. And we should be good to go here. Oh, actually, I made a mistake here. So for the manager LLM or the manager agent, you can choose one or the other. If you just choose the LLM, then it's going to use just like an LLM. But if you choose an actual manager agent, this is going to be an agent that you create, which you are already in the agent. You already gave that agent an LLM. All right, and it's going to have custom instructions and whatnot. So if you want a specific agent actually managing, you know, the tasks and whatnot, opposed from just a basic LLM that has no specific custom instructions and whatnot, then you can decide, you know, either or. So for this example, we'll use an actual manager agent and then click save. Okay, so we can see our different crews right here. You can see like an overview of it, you know, the process, LLM, all this different stuff. We can see the tasks right here. The different parameters for our tools and everything. So next step is let's go check out tools. And so here we can actually enable specific tools. So you'll see that they got a bunch of tools here. We got Serper Dev tool, website search tool, scrape website tool, Selenium scraping tool, scrape element from website tool, custom API tool. I'm not going to go through them all. You can kind of get the point here. Code interpreter tool, YouTube video search tool, directory read tool, custom file write tool, TXT search tool, all these different, format search tools like PDF search tool. And you can just click and add specific ones pretty much. If I click them, they're going to get added over to the enable tools. Now, once you enable some of these tools, if you click the drop downs here on some of them, you're going to have to add some configurations for some of them. Like, for example, if you're going to use the Serper Dev tool, you're going to need a Serper API key. All right, just go to search up Serper API and you can get or search serper.dev, whatever it's called, and you can get an API key. I believe there's free credits for that. But you can kind of just configure whatever tools that you want and how you want to use them right over here. And as you can see too, we also got the custom API tools. This is a tool that can make API calls with customizable parameters. So base URL, headers, query parameters. This is pretty cool. All right, next is our agents. So over here, we got our agents. We have all agents, unassigned agents, and then we see our different crews right here and what agents are in these specific crews. So let's go here and we can see a couple different agents that I created here. Let's go ahead and create a new agent to kind of walk through how that process works. So first things first, you'll see role right here. So you can pretty much, put this to anything like, all right, like for example, an SEO analyst right here, we could give a backstory on the role. And of course, like I'm just showing this as an example, but I would make these a little bit more intricate, actually put some time into creating these agents and giving it custom instructions. And then the goal, what is the goal of this agent? Is it to uncover groundbreaking technologies in AI? Or is it to, research different things on the web? Whatever the case may be, put that in here. And then we have some similar toggles. We have cache, verbose, and allow delegation. So say we wanted to toggle all these on, or maybe we only wanted to toggle a few on, you can go ahead and do so. And then the LLM provider and model. So like I mentioned, this is where you would put the LLM provider or model. You can literally select anyone you want. You could have different agents with different models interacting. So pretty cool stuff. And then you can change the temperature right here. You can change the max iterations, and then you can select specific tools that you want to have this agent have access to. So you could give it, just a couple tools, or maybe you give it like 5 different tools, right? And then you go ahead and save it. All right, so now we have this nice GUI interface where we can easily visualize all of our different agents and assign them, into different crews, have specific ones delegate tasks, and have them access to different tools. Well, now we actually have to create these tasks. So let's go over to tasks. And this is, like I said, where you'll see your tasks here. So we got unassigned tasks. It's nice that it has this kind of toggle up at the top because we can filter it by our crews or by unassigned and all tasks. So let's go ahead and create a task now. So here we can have our description. So this example is identify the next big AI trend, focus on identifying the pros and cons and the overall narrative. Expected outcome. So a comprehensive 3-paragraph long report on the latest AI trends. I'm thinking you could get some ideas of how you could potentially use this for, your use case. Maybe you run a business, like for this example, like I was saying, the SEO analyst, maybe you want to do some keyword research, whatever the case may be, you can put it in here and be detailed. And then this is where you're going to assign the task to a specific agent. Like let's say we wanted to assign it to our SEO analyst. And this is where you can either toggle on or off async execution. All right, so if you have it async operation toggled on, then these tasks will be able to be run concurrently. If it's not toggled on, then it's going to basically be running sequentially one after another. So then we have the context from sync tasks or the context from async tasks. This is where you can essentially give it context of the outputs from those specific tasks to essentially allow that output to be utilized effectively in these new tasks. All right, so I'm not going to put one right now, but if we were building something out, you would probably want to, depending on the specific use case, you may want to do that. Okay, so now that we have some sample tasks, we have some sample agents, some tools, and crew, let me actually go back to our second crew right here and just add some of these new agents that we had. So got our agent, we can do SEO analysis. Actually, this really doesn't matter because I didn't really actually program them all to do specific things, but let's go ahead and just kick things off right now. So you go to kick off, you'll be able to see your different crews right here, and let's go ahead and select a crew to run. So we're going to select crew number 2, the one that we just made. Okay, so I'm actually going to have to go add in our Serper API key real quick. Okay, now I am going to run the crew. So let's go ahead and run crew. We can see up here, this little guy is running, and now it says running crew. All right, so if we look in our terminal, we can actually see some of these logs right here. We can see our agent, senior researcher. We can see his thoughts, what tool he's using. So he's going to search the internet, and now he's searching for latest AI trends. Now, since we didn't prompt him well enough, like I literally just used basic prompts, we didn't specify anything to give him context. He's searching for 2023 when it is end of 2024. So we want to specify that stuff, but we can see here he's getting, you know, search results right here, different search results that he's pulling. Then we have stuff like our manager right here, his thought process. You know, he's using the tool to delegate work to coworker, and then the tool input, tool output right here. And we have his final answer right here. If we go back to our GUI, we can actually see the final output right here. So we can either see it in just plain text format right here, or we can toggle this and actually see the JSON right here. So the result, and we can see all of the actual output. We can see the total tokens it used, the prompt tokens, the completion tokens. Pretty much all the information you would want is accessible right here. All right, let's say that we really liked this crew and we wanted to export it. Then we could go over here to import or export. So this is going to allow you to import things, right? Or export things. Pretty straightforward. So you could export everything to JSON if you want, every single thing. You could select a specific crew, like say we wanted crew number 2, and we either wanted to export this crew to JSON, we could do so and then download the crew right here. Or we wanted to export to a single page app and then download the exported app, we could do so as well. Now, this is what the single page app looks like. We can see here we got it install.sh, run.sh, run.bat, requirements.txt, app.py right here, a .env, pretty much everything we would want. If I go ahead and open up this app.py, we can see that we got a Streamlit app right here with pretty much everything right here. And then we have our agents right here. So we got our senior researcher one, backstory. We got our SEO analyst right here, our task descriptions, our tools, all that good stuff. And then this is the exported JSON that we have right here. So we can see all that with all of our different tools, agents, pretty much everything that we built in that crew. And vice versa, you can also drag and drop files right here and import JSON to your GUI as well. So this pretty much gives you the freedom, whether you're building on or off of this GUI, you can easily access your crews pretty much wherever. All right, so other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for this tool, CrewAI Studio. I think this is a pretty cool open source tool. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, guys. I think this will benefit a lot of people that maybe aren't Python experts or aren't experts at building, you know, writing code to build AI agents, and you just want to get started trying out some of these tools with a GUI. Or even if you are an expert or you are pretty experienced, I think it's always nice to have other options and be able to play around with something cool like this. So like I said, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, guys. If you're new to the channel, we upload videos every single day on AI agents, business, marketing, sales, etc. So if you like that type of content, you got some value here, make sure to like the video, comment down below, and smash the subscribe button to stay up to date with the daily uploads. Also too, guys, if you haven't already joined our free community, stridecommunity.com, I'll leave a link down below to our free Facebook group, free Discord channel. And then also too, guys, if you run a business and you need help with marketing, paid ads, outbound prospecting, systems, operations, automations, whatever the case may be, or even if you want us to implement AI agents into your business to either streamline processes or to automate your marketing, appointment setting process, whether you want AI appointment setters or AI cold callers or call center into your business, we can definitely help you out with that. So if that sounds like you, then book a call down below at executivestride.com/apply and we can see if it's a good fit. Other than that, guys, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Keep hustling, keep grinding, and of course, guys, accelerate your stride. Take care.